This is your Elizabeth Line service update. Sunday until 8:45 a.m, no service between West Drayton and Maidenhead. Until 11 a.m, there is no service between Farringdon and Abbeywood.
Phew, thank heavens, that's not today.
Hi everyone, well I'm on the first stage of my journey here at Tottenham Court Road Station on the Elizabeth Line and about to take it from here to Farringdon and embark now on our journey all the way up to Glasgow. And here's the train coming in already.
With that, welcome to Carl's Travel Channel, where every journey costs less than £200. Please sit back, relax and enjoy the ride. And always remember, the nearest exit may be behind you. And please remember to like and subscribe. It really does make a difference.
Hi everyone, well I've made it here to Farringdon Tube Station in central London, Zone 1. And I'm going to go from here and find out how I can get to Glasgow by flight and whether it's quicker or nicer than taking the train. So we'll see how it goes and if there's any hitches along the way.
Firstly, I use one of the machines here to purchase my train ticket. Gatwick Airport, as shown, and one adult. Very easy, and just press here to pay now, which is £15.10. Here it is, my old-fashioned paper ticket. You're probably wondering, why did I not use contactless? Well, last time I used contactless to tap into Gatwick, I got charged an extortionate £25. Entering the barriers with my paper ticket ensures of no surprises. It's one of the many sneaky ways that train companies try to nickel and dime airport users.
So we'll begin the journey by taking the Thameslink from here to London's Gatwick Airport.
I forgot to mention timestamps are located in the corner of the screen as we progress, so you can see how we track against the train. I'll explain that later in the video. Trains from here are very frequent, every 5 minutes. However, like this first one, they do not all stop at Gatwick, so double check.
Well, my challenge today is to see how much better it really is flying than it is taking the train. I must admit, so far, I'm not entirely very convinced, given that there's just so many changes involved to and from both of the airports either end. However, you have got the relaxation in the airport beforehand, and not as long stuck down in the same place, waiting for 5 hours just on one train service, which can become tedious and tiresome.
And here comes my train, a Thameslink Class 700, a Siemens Desiro City train.
The train and the platform.
Seatback tray tables are here on every seat, and so far it's fairly empty on board. I don't have any plug though for charging. Pulling into our first stop where you can also board this service, City Thameslink.
Here for riverboat services from Blackfriars Pier, the South Bank and the Tate Modern. The doors will open automatically at the next station.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Just as a baby cries at the fright of the architecture of Blackfriars Station, where we're now pulling into. You can, however, access this station from both the north and south sides of the river. Blackfriars Station certainly has one of the best views of any train station in London, and the best thing of all, you don't have to look at the station from it. It certainly does a very good job of blocking the view down the river. We continue our way southwards, meandering our way through the maze of tracks, through the Thameslink core. Certainly a lot of graffiti around here, and a mix of new and old buildings. I must admit, however, it does seem a bit counterintuitive, heading south from London to go north to Glasgow, but I guess that's one of the weird quirks of Gatwick. If I had been taking the train from London to Glasgow instead, I would have needed to go to either Euston or King's Cross stations. From there, it's either a direct or one change service with the two operators of Anti-West Coast or LNER. For those who don't already, you can also now follow me on Instagram at Carl's Travel Channel. All hypes, likes and comments are appreciated. Here we pass London's famous Borough Market, which you can see on my little South Bank video I made a while ago. And on that subject, a beautiful view here of Southwark Cathedral, which was one of the few things I missed out on that video. Can you also then spy the walkie-talkie tower appearing through the buildings there? If you are joining the train at the next stop, London Bridge, it is about 50p cheaper, but there are always less seats available. so I generally recommend Farringdon or Blackfriars.
Shortly be arriving at London Bridge. Change here for other National Rail services. Also change here on the Jubilee and Northern lines. Exit here for riverboat services from London Bridge, City Pier, Tower Bridge and the Shard. The doors will open automatically at the next station.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
That really reminds me, I should make a video about those Uber boats sometime soon. We pull into London Bridge Station at 10:34 AM. My friend joins me here for the journey up to Glasgow, but sadly they don't wish to appear on the video. And the final call here is East Croydon. We then power our way through the countryside, leaving the City of London behind. And in no time at all, reach our destination, Gatwick Airport.
And so we've arrived already here at Gatwick Airport, about 3 or 4 minutes late, so just need to get the monorail now to the North Terminal.
All branded fully in EasyJet's holidays marketing, you then take the Travelator across to the monorail station. Some more information here about the shuttle. They are very frequent, every 5 minutes or so. Whilst the monorail does have the downside of making the journey even longer, it does however have some really cool nostalgic feel about it, being in its 1980s style. The system opened in 1987 and is 3/4 of a mile long. The trains were replaced however in 2009. It also affords some amazing views of the aircraft parked over there on Gatwick South Terminal's satellite. Arrived at the North Terminal, and with flying, one thing that is true is there's certainly a lot of walking involved. In the Wetherspoons I ordered this quick bowl of cheesy chips, just to keep me going, for a whopping £6.55.
Well, we went through security and it only took about 3 minutes. That was a nice and easy journey through. Time now in Wetherspoons just to have a quick snack.
We didn't get long to rest however, and soon on our way to the gate, which for every flight from here always feels like it's the one that's furthest away to walk. The endless corridors go on and on and on. A bit like me really. At least here however there's a Travelator, should you have mobility issues.
Service EasyJet 865. We would like to start boarding starting from those passengers who purchased speedy boarders. Speedy boarders are indicated by S1 or S2 on your boarding pass, so if you have S1 or S2, please stop first and then all remaining customers.
Today's flight was originally scheduled to be operated by an Airbus A320 aircraft, but a week or so before I received a notification that it had been downgraded to an Airbus 319 instead, and my seat had been moved. Hopefully I still have a window.
Flight time around 1 hour, 1 hour 5 minutes. Anthony's doing the flying. He'll give out to you in the cruise, an update time of arrival and the weather up there. That is all for me for now. Thank you for listening. Sit back, relax and enjoy the flight.
As you can see, legroom is very, very cramped and there is little space either side. But anyhow, so here we go. We push back out of the gate and on our way, with the beautiful view of London Gatwick's North Terminal's bridge directly opposite. If you're on one of those gates over there, it certainly is a great view from the top, and you'll see it in the future on another video of mine. We're now rolling and on our way. as we trundle our way out to the runway, this time London Gatwick's 08 right, I'll explain a little bit more about the fare comparisons between travelling by train or travelling by plane. Just before I do though, a quick wave to everybody up there on the bridge. It really does look fantastic. And just after it here, you can see there are yet more gates being constructed, as Gatwick Airport seems to continually always be expanding. Another view over there of the construction and expansion taking place, which I'm sure in a future video will all be completed. Returning back now to the all-important subject of fares. Well, for this flight, I paid £38.98, and I think that was about £34 for the ticket and about £4 or £5 extra for the window seat. Which sadly, as stated before, I got relocated due to the aircraft swap to this one here at 16A, over the wing. However, for videoing it's not too bad really, because you can still see behind the wing. So how does this compare to the price of the train fare? Well, I had a quick look, about a month or so in advance from now. It's between £36 and £40 for a direct fare on a Vanti West Coast, from Euston to Glasgow Central. However, that is based on a special split ticket deal, and most fares are £60 to £100, especially near to departure. The equivalent timings for this flight will be a 10:30am departure from Euston, arriving into Glasgow Central at 15:01. Now let's see if I can beat that today, here on EasyJet. I left Farringdon at 10:25 however, so I do have a 5 minutes head start, so it's not that fair. At least we're not stuck on the same seat for 4.5 hours. Okay, we're ready and rolling onto the runway. I'll let you sit back and enjoy the takeoff. So, here we go. Airways 777 passes us there on its way to some long-haul exotic destination, probably the Caribbean. But I am sure nothing will be as exciting as Glasgow. We lift off passing one of the budget airline Norse's 787s. From the left-hand side of the plane here, a really fantastic view over Gatwick Airport, and first of all you can see its North Terminal and Bridge. The South Terminal then follows with its classic central pier and satellite disc-shaped terminal, as you could clearly see below. The station and railway lines are there, heading sharp northwards, back up to London. Sadly though, the weather today is not great, so that's the last you will see of the ground until we reach Glasgow. We then emerged from the clouds to do what I call cloud surfing. Well, how am I finding this journey so far? I must admit, it is a bit tedious with all of the changes and the cramped up seat here on the aircraft. However, I don't have an Avanti seat to make a direct comparison with, as I've not been on them for a long time.
After entering service, we'll be out with our shockwaves. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask a member of cabin crew. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of your flight.
Shows us touching down at the moment at 7 minutes past 2, although they will give a shortcut until 3 minutes. So another 5 minutes after that to get through this. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for choosing to fly with us here today. We do appreciate that you have a choice, and thank you for choosing to fly with us. Now, as I say, Tottenham, around half an hour to run. I'll leave you in a very capable hands of our wonderful crews. So thank you and enjoy the service from them. If there's any changes to the arrival information I've given you, and of course get back in touch with them. Thank you very much.
Well, we've descended back down through the clouds into a very rainy Scotland. My ears never really seem to like flying, especially during the descent, where they often do not pop properly and cause me some great discomfort. However, I must admit on this flight they were fairly clear and not too bad. However, that is one of the advantages of going on the train where you don't have that issue. Another drawback of flying when on the cheapest fares is the lack of luggage allowance. You only get one small bag, well, that I had to take with me today. However, if you want to pay more, of course, you can take a suitcase for an extra fee or an extra wheelie bag. As the captain said earlier, there is a myriad of different airlines operating this route from different airports. Firstly, there is EasyJet, flying from Gatwick, like our flight today, and also Luton and Stansted airports. Ryanair fly to Glasgow just from Stansted Airport. And British Airways, you have the choice of either London Heathrow or London City airports, both more centrally located, but you will pay a lot more for it. Prices start at £60 each way. Now I know you aviation fans like to watch the landing, so I'll let you sit back and watch it in peace. Don't turn the video off right now, however, because the all-important comparison between the train and plane is coming up in about a minute's time. Is a very rainy landing in Glasgow. But then again, if anybody has ever visited Scotland and it did not rain, please let me know in the comments below.
Welcome to London. We'll have time to got 10 past 2. Electronic devices may now be used in their reach for calls, messaging or internet access. Very shortly the cabin crew will be leaving their seats to perform safety related duties. However, at this time we do ask you to remain in your seats with your seatbelt securely fastened until the seatbelt signs and the panel above your head have been switched off. Before you leave us today, make sure you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pockets underneath the seat and finally in the overhead lockers. Take care when opening the overhead lockers in case anything has moved anchored or injured yourself or a fellow passenger. Smoking is not permitted to reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain, the first officer and your entire onboard London Gatwick crew, it has been our pleasure having you on board today and we do look forward to welcoming you again soon. If you are returning home, please do the first welcome to you. If you are visiting, we do hope you have a pleasant stay in the local area. Did you know that we also offer an unbeatable price guarantee for our max holidays? Whether you're after city break or beach holiday, we've got thousands of happy hotels for you to choose from. Simply search Easy Holidays and start planning your next getaway. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
I certainly do like a lot of waffle on landing. And they tried very, very hard to plug their EasyJet holidays. As we trundle in towards the terminal, let's sum up the positives of flying and negatives, of course, compared to the train. Well, beginning with the positives here, the first main benefit, of course, is you're not stuck in the same seat for the entire journey, getting cramped and aching. Secondly, it's often cheaper than the train, especially at the last minute. And third, it's a lot more reliable than the train, I would have said, though I've not done a strict scientific comparison. Next up, the negatives. Firstly, you get less free baggage when flying. On the train, you could take a suitcase with you without any extra cost. Secondly, the expensive airport trains and buses do add on money. And of course, there's lots of changes and faffing about.
Cabin crew, disarm doors for arrival.
Then you've got the cramped plane seat, but you're only in that for an hour or less. And if you're like me, you might suffer from ears popping during the flight. 2 sets of stairs front to back are lined to join the aircraft, but ironically, only one gets used. Alighting on this plane unusually was only via the front door, so that took a little bit longer. But anyhow, it's 2:21 PM. We only have 39 minutes for the train from London to catch us up and beat us to Glasgow Central. To the right, you can spy here this unusual Logan Air Twin Otter aircraft in Scottish livery. One final goodbye to my own plane as we make the quick exit from the terminal. No passport control, of course. I then head to catch the number 500 bus from here to Glasgow city centre. Tickets are purchased directly here at the gate for a fairly steep £11. On board, it did have this really cool charging station for mobile phones. Sadly, the bus was so busy, I'm unable to show you any of the interior. It was squeezed to the gills. And so were my legs. We're off, however, at 2:57 PM, about half an hour's journey.
Well, I made it into Glasgow city centre, and I must say that bus, oh my gosh, it was very, very squashed and cramped, and considering it cost £11, definitely thumbs down and not good value for money. Anyway, I'm off now to find my Premier Inn, and then I'll summarise the journey up.
But first of all, I head into Glasgow's Central Station, just to prove the time comparison for coming here, and it's 3:01 PM. Absolutely unbelievable. Exactly the same time as the Avanti would be. I know, it's not a very scientific comparison since I did not start from Euston Station. However, that's only a 5 minutes journey on the tube from Tottenham Court Road. Even with that factored in, the journey durations are almost exactly the same. I emerge back out near St Enoch subway station, the home to the Glasgow subway, and also the home for my hotel tonight. Here is its iconic original ticket office, now a Cafe Nero. I pop inside the local shopping centre first, however, to grab a new can of hairspray since I forgot to take it with me. It's always very handy to have this located right nearby. There's even a Tesco Express here for any other essentials you may need to stock up on. And there is the good first look at my hotel for the next 2 nights, the Premier Inn, St Enoch.
Well, I successfully managed to get a new hairspray from the boots just over there, which is directly opposite my hotel, the Premier Inn, St Enoch. So we'll go and check in now and see how that is. Overall, it wasn't a bad journey, but we'll summarise it out properly in a moment. And time to check in at the Premier Inn. Well, as usual with automated machines, the check-in process was fairly complicated, and I scanned the QR code from my phone, which of course did not work at all. Even a member of staff tried it for me, so they had to manually enter all of the booking details. And you also must use the card to get in the lift here. Anyway, all good, so let's check out the room.
I'm up here on the 5th floor, and one of the only complaints is the lift is very slow, and one of them is out of service. However, here we are, room 509, and with an electronic key card, wow, it works first time.
The usual key card activated electricity. And very first look at the room, and first look at the room myself, because I'm not cheated and been in here before the camera.
The total trip price summary is as follows: £15 for the Thameslink train, £38 for the flight and window seat, and £11 for the bus into Glasgow, bringing a grand total of £65, probably about exactly the same as a train fare. Alas, however, to keep you on a cliffhanger, if you want to see the full Premier Inn review, you'll have to wait for my next video, which will be specific about this hotel. But for now, thank you for watching Carl's Travel Channel. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you, of course, on the next one.